Good morning, everyone. It's Lynn Dunn from Stamtastic Designs. Thanks so much for joining me today. So today we are going to play around with the August paper pumpkin kit. And this kit, actually, I should probably have taken this out, but this kit features, let me grab it here, the meaningful flowers. So that's what we're going to play with today. So I have a variety of different card ideas that I want to share, which feature this particular kit. So the kit came with all the supplies that you need to create these two different designs. So there were 4 cards in each of these two different designs. So you had a total of 8 cards. And there was also a couple of stamp sets here, but organized all my stamp sets. So there's 2 different stamp sets. Well, let's see if I can get a piece of white cardstock so you can see this here. So there's this set that came with the kit that you use to create the cards in the kit. And then there was also a little free gift. Now, I didn't actually use this set yet. So the cards that I'm sharing today just actually feature, the supplies from the kit and just a couple of my own supplies. But there was a little free gift in here of this stamp set, which of course coordinates with the kit. So I have a couple of cards that I'm just going to walk you through, just some basic designs, some fun ways to use the kit differently. And then I have a variety of different cards to share with you. So good morning, everybody. Good morning. So let's make this bigger here so we can see. So I'm going to create a couple of these cards with you. In the kit, there were these little forget-me-nots. So most of the cards that I'm sharing with you today featured the little forget-me-nots. I really liked the blue and the yellow and the green. So that's what I'm going to be focused on today. So let me move some of these and I'm going to show you a couple of different card ideas. And the kit, this is one of the cards from the kit. So I really just basically did this almost exactly as the kit. So I thought that was just a really pretty design and I just left it as is. So I didn't do a whole lot with that particular flower. All right, so I'm going to start with this basic design. So what you might notice about this card is that it has this really fun embossing in the background. So I'm going to give you guys a little sneak peek of a new embossing folder that is coming out in the September through December mini catalog. So it is called Distress Tile. And as you can see, it's got a little bit of distressing in here in this particular embossing folder. And I thought it went really well with this particular part of the card. So what I did is, this is actually one of the cards from the kit. So it has this little fun fold here, the flowers and the grass. And then this was the inside. And then the kit just had some information about this particular flower on the back of the card. And so what I did is I just cut this apart. I basically cut in front, like I cut this part off in front of this fold here. And then I used that to create this card. So you can just easily slice this off. I don't typically cut on the fold because I get a lot of jagged edges if I cut on the fold. So cut just in front of that fold and cut this piece off. And then this piece I cut down for the next card. I cut this down to 4 by 5¼ inches. So you can basically make 2 cards out of this one card. So that's what I'm going to do. So let me grab some of this stuff here. So like I said, I just cut that piece off. This is that fun fold section of the card. I did a little embossing using that distress tile. So this is the distress tile 3D embossing folder. So I love the look of distressing. So this embossing folder is just really pretty. So again, this is just a really basic card. You can do anything you want with, with the supplies in the kit. I'm just giving you a couple different ideas. So I just have a 4 by 5 1/4 inch piece of white cardstock, and it's embossed with that new embossing folder. You can emboss it with any embossing folder that you want. And then I took this little piece here, and I'm just peeling off all the dimensionals. I just popped it up on the card. Comes right off the corner, and it just makes a really simple and quick card. So pop that up, and then we'll just add a little greeting. For this one, I just used a little bit of vellum. Here, I'm just gonna add a little bit of designer paper, just to bring out that yellow color that's in the flowers. So I just created a little greeting. This is one of the greetings from the kit. So this is a 1/2 inch wide piece of white cardstock, and I just snipped the end into a little banner, and then we'll just pop this up. So I'm using some of the paper from the inked and tiled. I don't know if it's a suite. I think it's a suite, but that's what I'm using. I don't think it's called inked and tiled though, the paper. I'm thinking of the stamp set. And we'll just pop this right up on the card, and that's how simple it is. And then you can embellish. I used some little brass butterflies here just to embellish the card. You can embellish it however you want. And then on the inside, I used some leftover pieces from cutting up the envelopes. So I cut up all the envelopes with this kit. So I'll show you what the envelopes look like. Well, I didn't cut them all up because I have one to show you, but you basically just cut open this envelope, and if you can see on the inside, you have flowers all, all the way down. So I created a lot of cards with this particular envelope. And then I used the leftover pieces to decorate the inside. So that's the first card, pretty simple. And you can, use the designer paper like I did here, or in this case, I decided, I'm sorry, this is the embossing. In this case, I use the designer paper. So you can use designer paper behind these flowers, or you can use the embossing behind the flowers. And it's the same kind of concept. It just gives you a little bit different look. So I liked using these little floral pieces here. So the next one I want to show you again is just a very simple card idea. So this uses the rest of that card base. So the first card I shared uses this part of the card base, and then this is what we're using for this card. So like I said, I cut this piece down to 4 by 5 1/4 inches, and then I just cut an inch off. Then I just cut an inch off, whichever side, it doesn't really matter. And I'm just gonna let the paper kind of do all the work. So since I cut an inch off of this piece right here, I created a 1 by 5 1/4 inch piece of white cardstock, and I embossed it with that distress tile. So I'm basically just replacing that piece on the card. So I put that right there. I'm using garden green, by the way, for my card base. And then this piece will just go right next to it. And then you can add the linen thread. You can do that before or after adding your greeting. I'm just going to add the greeting. I'm not going to add the linen thread right now. But basically, I just wrapped the linen thread around the card front twice, and then tied the ends into a bow, and then added my little greeting, and then decorated it with some butterflies. So again, very simple, but I just let the paper do all the work. And then on the inside, I took this leftover piece from cutting it off the front, and I used it to decorate the inside of the card. So very simple. and it turns out just really pretty. All right, so those are two quick cards that you can do with one of the card bases if you wanted to cut up that card base. So then I wanted to use one of the images in the stamp set to create some cards, because once you use up all your kit supplies, then you want to be able to use that stamp set to create a couple of cards. So this is the card that I'm going to show you how I made. And I'm going to grab the pieces here. I basically cut 3 pieces, which are 1 3/4 by 2.5. So I used some crumb cake cardstock, oops, some Daffodil Delight, and then this piece is left over from cutting apart, I think it was from cutting apart the envelope here. Let's see. Did I cut apart one of the envelopes? Yeah. Oh, I'm trying to find it. This is from cutting apart the other envelope. So I don't know if you can see on the inside there. This is the other envelope that goes with this card. So I cut up this envelope, and on the inside of the envelope, on this flap right here, on the inside, is where I got this piece, this little blue piece that kind of looks like it's watercolored. So all I'm going to do is just use different colors to stamp this image. So let's start with the crumb cake. So for the crumb cake, I just used a little darker brown. So I'm using pecan pie. And then you just ink up your image and you will stamp it. So that's the pecan one. Now this little flower you can certainly color too, but I thought it would just be kind of cool to just stamp it on different colored paper. Oh, I just have to clean my stamp. So now I'm using the Daffodil Delight paper, and I'm using that crushed curry. So just a little bit darker yellow. And let's see. Then for my blue, I just have Night of Navy that I'm using. So the nice thing about this is you can use any colors you want. You don't have to use the colors that I'm using. All right, so there's the 3. And then I just took my card base and I embossed it with, again, that embossing folder, so you can tell that I really like this embossing folder. So I just embossed the card front, and now I'm just going to adhere all these pieces. So let me pop these up. I'm going to add a couple dimensionals to each of these. And then we will put the card together. So I like to cut apart the envelopes, especially if they're decorated in the kit, because you can easily cut apart the envelopes and then just cut down the pieces to whatever size. You can cut down the envelope to whatever size you want, just to create more cards. So it's kind of like, the envelopes to me are kind of like having some additional designer paper to play with. All right, I'm just peeling off all the dimensionals, as you can see. Maybe you can't. Okay. So let's start with the yellow one. And basically you're just going to come off the side of the card front like this. And then I added, whoops, this one. Then I added this one. And I just kind of turned the card so I could kind of see how to add it so that I was adding it straight. And then we'll add this one right in the middle. All right, so then you add that, and then you can stamp your greeting. So I just have a little piece of scrap white cardstock, and I'm just going to stamp my greeting using the Knight of Navy. Now in the kit, there was a pretty peacock, I believe, Stampin' Spot. So you could definitely stick with that color if you want. And then I just snipped the edge, both sides, into a little banner. So when I snip my banners, I like to go in the center. And that's going to be a little long, isn't it? And then come from the side. It helped me get a little bit straighter. Probably should have my glasses on, but all right. So you get the idea. And then we can just pop this up right here on this card. So I'm going to use some of these little edge dimensionals here. And we'll just lay this like this. So this is going to go right kind of on the edge a little bit, which is why I'm using the sides of the dimensionals here. Oop. All right. So now we got these. And then we can add our greeting. So it's really a pretty card and pretty simple to do. And like I said, you can use a lot of different colors to create this. All right. And then you can embellish it with whatever you want. I'm using a couple of the rustic dots just to do some embellishing on there. It's pretty simple. And again, you know, if you're not subscribed to Paper Pumpkin, that's okay. You can still use this card layout with stamp sets that you have on hand. So you don't necessarily have to have the Paper Pumpkin to use this card layout. This will work with any, you know, smaller stamp images that you can put across your card like that. All right. So these are the cards that I showed you how to make. So I'm going to just show you a couple other card ideas here. And this one I already told you kind of goes with this one. These are two different ways to use that particular piece from the kit. So I also have, there was a large like bouquet of the forget-me-nots. So this went on the inside of the card. So where's my card? So this bouquet of flowers here actually went right here on the card if you put the card together as the kit suggested. So it was a focal point. So when you close this, you saw the, you know, this part of the flowers up on the top. But I used all of these little pieces separately to create some additional cards. So this is one of the designs. And as you can see, I'm using that embossing folder again, that tiled embossing folder. And then here's another card idea, just using, you know, the inside of that card base. It just makes a great design on the card. And this is very simple. I just cut that card base down and just added a little greeting, and you have a really fun little card. So here's another one. This actually uses the envelope from the kit. So on the inside, when you cut open the envelope, This is one of the patterns that I used again to create just another design. And then I really liked the envelope, the colors on the envelope and the little flowers. So as you can see, this is the envelope. So when I cut it open, I used this piece, this section of the envelope here with little round edges. So I used that back part here because it had some little flowers on it. So I didn't want to waste those little flowers. So I just adhered it right to a card front and then added a little focal point. So it just turned out really cute. Let's move these up a little bit. And then here's another one with that bouquet of flowers. So I have, let's see, what do I have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is 9. And then this is the 10th one. So I have 10 different cards and I haven't used all the supplies yet. I still have an envelope and a card base and stuff to cut up. Actually, 2 envelopes, I believe. So there's lots of different things that you can do. This is that stamp image here, and I just added a little bit of sponging or blending. Did use the little blending brushes just to add a little bit of blue and yellow behind the flower. All right, so that's what I came up with so far with the paper pumpkin kit. So I really enjoyed as soon as I saw it was flowers. I just really was excited about this kit and really enjoyed putting the cards together. So I hope you guys enjoyed these card ideas. And again, if you don't have the paper pumpkin kit, if you don't subscribe, you can still use some of these card layouts to create cards, you know, with supplies that you have on hand. I'll get all of these cards out on my blog, and then it'll have all the, you know, different dimensions for the papers and stuff so that you can use these layouts with any supplies that you have on hand. And I think I forgot to mention this paper right here is from one of the envelopes. So it makes a really pretty card. All right, so I think that's all I had to share with you guys today. So I will get these projects out on the blog for you so that you can use these layouts with any supplies that you have on hand. If, of course, if you have the paper pumpkin kit, you can use them with that as well. Um, if you did not get in on the paper pumpkin kit, I do have an extra. Apparently, I subscribed twice. So if you would like one, just reach out to me. You can reach out to me at stamptasticdesigns@gmail.com or directly through website and let me know, and I can get that additional kit out to you. So there are also some links with the description in this video if you want to check out Paper Pumpkin. And the next kit that's coming out is already, there's a sneak peek of it out on the website, so you can take a look at that. And then you can also take a look at just some of the tutorials that I put together, some sneak peeks of projects from past kits. Every month, I put together a tutorial with 12 different card ideas, and I partner with other demonstrators to put that tutorial together for you. So, all right. So I think that's all I have. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day and a great week, and I will see you guys again next week. So take care, everybody.